Hello, everyone. My name is Laura, and I'm a high school ESL teacher as well as an adult education ESL instructor for Odessa College. And for this language documentation project, I worked with my cousin Diana Rizzo. I mention that because it's important to know that my experience is working with high schoolers and adults, so I don't really work with little children. So that is why I went ahead and decided to work with Diana. Since school is out, I didn't have any access to students, so I chose the next best thing, my cousin Diana. Now, Diana is a Spanish dominant bilingual and an adult English learner. She is 55 years old and owns her own jewelry business in West Texas, where she makes and sells handmade jewelry. I chose Diana because she uses English in her work with her customers and needs to communicate effectively to grow her business. She has learned English informally through everyday experiences, so I thought she would be a perfect participant to document and analyze for this project. In this video, I will share her spoken and written language samples along with a reading sample and analyze them with a focus on second language acquisition features like interlanguage, transfer, and translanguaging. Then I will present instructional strategies that could help Diana continue developing her English proficiency. So let's get started. First, I will play a portion of Diana's interview. In this one, I asked her how she started selling her jewelry.
I'm sorry because I go to Fort Worth, visit some friends, and my friend Alfredo, they say me, "Oh, Diana, we found a store, and I take you to, you can see it." And I go and I say, "Oh, look, I found this one. Oh, this is for me, this is for my mom, and whatever, for all my family." And when I get to the house of my friends, I found I have 10 pieces, and my friend Pina, they say me, "Diana, why you don't take it to your job and you can start selling?" I said, "Well, maybe it's a good idea." And I bring it, I start with 10 pieces, and I bring it to the bakery where I work. And in the first 2 days, I sold the 10 pieces. And I said, "Well, I spent $100 in those 10 pieces, and now I have 200. And that's why I said, "Okay, well, I can go back and buy more, and I can start selling." And that's the way I start. And now, 15 years later, I'm here.
Wow. Now, there are several interlanguage features that appear here. For example, Diana begins with I'm started, reflecting transfer from Spanish structures like estoy empezando. There is repetition of phrases with fillers like whatever, and I said, which function as discourse markers while she organizes her ideas. Her phrase, they say me Diana, shows subject object placement influenced by Spanish. Me dijeron Diana. Overall, her narrative is clear and detailed. Even though there's grammatical approximations appear, it's a great example of a bilingual speaker developing inner language through trial and adjustment. On this second excerpt, I asked her the question, how did you start making jewelry?
Since I get, I don't know, John, when I've been, I want to say, in high school, I love to have a bracelet and necklace, and sometimes I don't like the same one everybody has, and I say, "Oh, I like to go to Monterrey, Mexico, because every month I go and I take classes of jewelry, not painting because never like the painting, but repujado, they call repujado, everything the newest I like to learn, and that's why I start making all the bracelet, the earring. When I'm start, I buy some pieces, and the other one I make it.
Manage English time references. She repeats like multiple times as a self monitoring strategy. Her phrase, when I'm star, instead of when I started, suggests influence from Spanish pronunciation patterns where final consonant clusters are rare. She also uses the Spanish word repujado naturally, demonstrating translanguaging to express a culturally specific practice. Her message remains coherent and communicative. On this final and third excerpt, I did ask her, "What was your first event like?" And this is her reply.
Oh, I'm nervous, like right now. Like now, I'm nervous, but always the first. If I'm not wrong, the first event I have is in the Coliseum for the fair in the 209, and I'm scared because I said the first thing I said, they charged me too much, and my sister, the oldest, she said me, Diana, you never know if they work if you don't be there.
Oh, okay.
O sea, no sabes si va a funcionar
Yeah.
porque no sabes cuánto vas a vender. Y yo, okay. And I said, okay, well, rent this space. And it's awesome because I have, well, Juan, my mom, and everybody, they helped me. And they said, it's so different, the jewelry, because I made it. And the other one, I private, la traje de Dallas. Otra la ordené en línea. But the most, how do you say it, important or whatever is the one I made it.
This segment, Diana uses translanguaging fluidly, switching to Spanish mid-sentence. No sabes si va a funcionar porque no sabes cuánto vas a vender. This is a natural bilingual strategy for maintaining flow. She also shows transfer with tense. If you don't be there, and approximate vocabulary. I private, likely meaning I bought privately. These features reflect how she is actively negotiating her bilingual system, drawing on resources from both languages to express herself. Overall, her narrative is logical and personal. Now let's look at Diana's written sample about her expo routine. I told her to write me what a day would be like when she started her day for an expo. And this is exactly what she wrote. And I'm showing it on here, but I'm also going to read it exactly as it is written. I start my day in one of my show selling fashion jewelry with give the hello hi to my customers so they can look at my jewelry and they can start seeing all the jewelry I have. And they ask me, "Did you have something like this or small size or different color?" I like to wear my fashion jewelry I make. So the clients, they say me, "Oh, I like the earrings you have." And I said, "Here, I have it in different colors or size." Now, there are some approximations in Diana's writing. She uses they say me, reflecting transfer from Spanish, me dicen. She also writes with the give the hello instead of greet my customers, but it's also doy los buenos días. So she's still grabbing and transferring and translating word for word. There are long sentences joined by and without clear punctuation, which is a common pattern for emergent bilingual writers who, think in one language and write in another. But despite these approximations, Diana's meaning is clear and engaging, showing her resourcefulness in explaining her jewelry sales process. Diana also read this prepared text about her jewelry business. I wrote it up for her and then asked her to read it word for word for me. And I'm going to show what I wrote and then play what she read.
My name is Diana and I'm a jewelry maker. I design and create handmade pieces using high quality materials. I sell my jewelry at craft fairs and expo events around West Texas. Each piece is unique and made with care. I believe that jewelry can help people feel confident and beautiful. Customers often ask about the meaning behind my design, and I love sharing the stories that inspire my work. It's make me happy to see people smile when they wear my jewelry.
Overall, her reading was confident and steady, showing strong decoding skills. However, there were a few patterns consistent with interlanguage features. She pronounced confident, confident, reflecting Spanish syllable timing. She read customers after us instead of customers often ask, possibly from dropping some consonant clusters there. She said, it's make me happy instead of it makes me happy, a typical subject verb agreement slip. She paused during stories that inspire my work, showing she's still processing complex clauses. But these are all consistent with other samples, showing a stable interlanguage system in progress. Now, for the strategies to help Diana, one of the first things I would do would create cognate charts. One powerful tool is the use of cognate charts. Cognates are words that look and sound similar across languages, for example, important in English and importante in Spanish, or family and familia. For adult or adolescent bilinguals, leveraging cognates builds confidence because they can draw on their existing vocabulary and connect it to new English words. For Diana, I would create a personal cognate chart focusing on words relevant to her jewelry business, like materials, materiales, design, diseño, price, precio. This would support her vocabulary development while valuing her Spanish knowledge and avoid a deficit perceptive. In adult and high school education, validating prior knowledge is crucial, and cognate work honors what learners already bring. A second strategy would be scaffolding sentence frames. Scaffolded sentence frames can help Diana organize her speech and writing with greater confidence. For example, she could practice: first, I set up my booth, then, I greet customers by, after that, I show them. These frames build syntax awareness so Diana can move beyond memorized words to more complex, connected sentences. For older learners, sentence frames are empowering because they reduce cognitive overload. Rather than worrying about grammar in real time, they focus on ideas and gradually internalize patterns. Over time, they can adapt or abandon the frames as they become more fluent. The third strategy would be oral practice with role plays. I do this a lot in my classroom. Role play practice is especially important for adult and high school learners who need immediate practical communication skills. Diana could rehearse authentic vendor conversations, such as greeting customers, describing her jewelry, or handling questions about price and materials. For example, we might role play, hello, may I help you with anything today? Or these bracelets are handmade with high quality stones. Or yes, I have this in different colors or sizes. Role play simulate real interactions in a safe environment, It builds confidence and allows correction and feedback without embarrassment. Adult learners often appreciate this because they see direct relevance to their daily lives, and it can feel more respectful than scripted drills. I've noticed that if I can do something that's related to their daily life, like going to the doctor or taking their things that could happen in an emergency room, just different life situations, those kind of help because they can practice them, practice learning the words, because a lot of times also those are words in situations that we don't run into or you don't learn on a regular day by day basis. So I'm a big fan of role playing. Strategy number four is, of course, visual supports and graphic organizers. I would also incorporate visual supports like picture word cards or process flowcharts showing how to greet, show, and sell products. Visuals reduce cognitive load, make language more accessible, and support memory, which is critical for adult emergent bilinguals who may have anxiety about language learning. Finally, the fifth strategy, I would intentionally allow Diana to translanguage. For instance, letting her talk about jewelry design in Spanish while labeling her materials in English. Research shows that allowing bilinguals to flexibly draw from their full linguistic resources supports deeper comprehension and respects their identity. In adult and high school programs, translanguaging helps learners build bridges rather than feeling forced to leave one language behind. And this can motivate continued learning and foster a sense of belonging. For Diana, these strategies are grounded in valuing what she already knows, providing meaningful practice, and supporting confidence. In my own teaching with high school and adult learners, these strategies remind me to treat bilingualism as an asset, not a barrier, and to intentionally build on their funds of knowledge. Cognates, frames, role play, visuals, translanguaging together can create a learning environment that is authentic, supportive, and empowering. Overall, Diana's language shows many bilingual strengths. She demonstrates strategic use of interlanguage, code switching, and translanguaging to make meaning. With thoughtful supports, Diana can continue to expand her proficiency while maintaining her rich bilingual identity. And that's, of course, everything I want. I wouldn't want her to change anything. I would just want to help. That's all I want to do is just help. All right. Hope you enjoyed my video and thank you for your time.